Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Tuesday, March 3rd. I'm so happy to see all of you guys today. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal start to their Cheeky Tuesday. I hope your basketball team won last night. I don't know what Adam Silver was thinking by only giving us 4 games last night, but it gave me some time to just enjoy myself, relax at night, binge a show, and stay up until 2 a.m. So not great, but if your basketball team did play last night, I hope you guys won. Welcome back, everybody. If you guys are tuning into the live show, TikTok, be sure to drop some likes, drop some follows. YouTube, drop some likes, drop some follows. And podcast listeners, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps more than y'all could possibly ever understand. That's right. Apple listeners, Spotify listeners, YouTube listeners, for real, drop some likes. I got a very good show for y'all planned today. Now, tomorrow, I want to let everybody know I have a very interesting episode that we're going to be doing. I'm sure you guys remember when we were halfway into the season, we did something called, Pretenders or Contenders. I'm sure you guys know that segment. Well, there was a recent article that released by one of the most talked about blogs in the world. I think it might have been The Athletic. I don't remember, either Athletic or John Hollinger or somebody. He basically rates all of the teams with just 25 games left into the season, and he talks about them with sirens, and he ranks each team with sirens. So, for example, he believes that the Oklahoma City Thunder will have 5 sirens. That means they're the biggest threat to win it all, right? I'm thinking of doing an episode like that tomorrow. We'll talk about just the top 6 teams of both conferences. So Magic fans, Heat fans, Suns fans, my apologies. We will not be talking about you guys tomorrow because you are in the play-in, okay? So tomorrow, I think that's going to be the plan. But today we got a fun episode, y'all. We got a very fun episode, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, let's just get started. Twitch chat, y'all got the easiest job in the entire world. Out of all the live crew members, sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, energy drink, and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start off with a team that I feel like somebody commented on one of my YouTube podcasts and said, how come you don't show this team love? Why don't you show this team that much love? And I'm like, do I not show love to? And then I started watching back in the podcast, and I'm like, I haven't started a show with them in over a month. And this has arguably been their best month. So my apologies, Beantown boys. Let me put on my Celtics jersey real quick and just wish a happy birthday to Jason Tatum. That's right. Jason Tatum has turned 19 years old. And that's just happy birthday to Jason Tatum. Fast recovery. We're looking forward to seeing you back, GOAT. We're ready to pour some honey on you. The Boston Celtics go into Milwaukee last night and run the Bucks over 108-81. It was not close. It was not close whatsoever. The Celtics were up by 31 at one point in this game, and they just never looked back. Giannis Antetokounmpo came back last night as well. And when the news broke that Jaylen Brown will not be playing last night, all my Celtics fans, not one of them, all my Celtics fans in my Discord server came in and were saying, scheduled loss, no JB tonight. We're going to get torched. We're going to get smoked. Giannis coming back just because we're on the second night of a back-to-back. What a coward. And then they proceeded to have Hugo Gonzalez dropped 18 points and 16 rebounds on their dome. Not just him. They allowed Sam Hauser 14 points, 4 rebounds. Nikola Vucevic, 10 points. Derek White, 18 points. Baylor Shireman, 10 points, 6 rebounds. Peyton Pritchard, 25 off the bench. Luka Garza even got involved with 7 points and 10 rebounds. This was an all-around group effort from the Beantown boys there in Boston. Straight up. A group effort, and they came back and just absolutely bitch slapped, excuse my French, the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks looked horrible last night. Horrible. They didn't have a good game from virtually anybody other than Giannis, which, surprise, 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 that's sort of what happens. If the Milwaukee Bucks are not hitting their threes, they stand no chance against any team in the NBA. That's just how it is. If Miles Turner is giving you 19 minutes and only grabbing you 4 rebounds as a 7-footer, and he's going 1 for 6 from the field, every single shot was taken from 3. I need that to sink in for a second, ladies and gentlemen. He attempted 6 shots last night as a 7-footer, and all of them were from 3-point land. Talk about a fleece. What did Milwaukee give him? A 4-year, $80-some million contract? Talk about a fleece. Brody benefited off of Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam and Andrew Nembhard's and Aaron Nesmith's iconic run last night and got himself paid. Yeah, they didn't shoot well. When AJ Green goes 0 for 3, when Ousmane Dieng goes 3 for 7, Giannis goes 0 for 2 from 3, Miles Turner 1 for 6, Ryan Rollins 1 for 5 from 3, it's not going to be a good game. It's not going to be a good game at all. And the Celtics buried him. Now, I know I haven't been talking that much Boston this year, but I just feel like I talked so much about them in the first half of the season that I sort of talked myself out of them, you know? And now that we're nearing Jason Tatum's prodigal return, most anticipated return in years, I feel as though now is the time to talk about them, because now is where this team truly gets interesting. This is where the team gets unlocked. And we will be talking about Jason Tatum again in a later segment in today. But for now, I just have to give them their flowers. Shout out to the Boston Celtics, the Beantown boys. They are doing their thing. And I'll be honest with everybody. The Boston Celtics without Jason Tatum does not worry me in the playoffs. They do not worry me whatsoever. The Pistons had their way with them in the regular season this year. Regular season doesn't matter. Yeah, that's right. It only matters when you guys win. With Jason Tatum, however, that is the point in time where I have to be terrified of this team, because I know Jason Tatum's not going to be Jason Tatum. But still, at the same time, it's very worrisome when Jason Tatum is going to come back. Now, I would like to say, in my defense, the Boston Celtics really have had zero comp in like the last month. They played a lot of games, but they really haven't played any good teams recently. Like, just by looking at their schedule over the last good bit, let me read this off to you, all right? Pacers, Heat, Hawks, Pistons, Pacers, Nets, Bulls, Blazers, Hawks, Kings, Bucks, Mavs. That's like 12 non-playoff teams in a row. And then they finally versed one in the Rockets. And then the Heat, another non-playoff team. Then the Knicks, Bulls, Warriors, Lakers, Suns, Nuggets, Nets, Sixers, Bucks. Like, their competition has been overall non-existent over the last month. So, like, that's part of the reason why I feel as though I haven't spoke too much about the Boston Celtics. They're beating bad teams, and that's great. You're supposed to beat who's in front of you. So I'm not discrediting them for that. I'm just explaining myself as to why I haven't spoke that often about the Boston Celtics. I feel like I've only talked about them when they have versed the Nuggets, the Knicks, the Pistons over the last month and a half. So, you know, I hope my Beantown boys respect me for not, you know, being honest and upfront. There's a reason why I haven't really spoke about them. There hasn't been that much need to talk about them beating on these bottom feeder teams. But again, I do have to emphasize this. Something so special about Joe Mazzulla's squad is that they don't falter. I never see this team come out just straight up not give effort. If you guys remember, I think it was the Nuggets game. No, was it the Nuggets? It was a team that got blown out by semi-recently. I'm going to look it up as I'm talking about this. And it's like, oh, they got blown out to the Knicks and the Nuggets. So those two games, February 25th and February 8th, they still put effort. It's just their shot wasn't falling that night. And that's something special about Joe Mazzulla's team. Even if their shots aren't falling, they're not getting killed off the glass. They're not getting killed by blow-bys. They're not getting killed because they're not giving effort. They're getting killed because they're shooting themselves out the game. And that's the Boston Celtics strategy. And when Jason Tatum comes back, it's going to be very interesting to see how he can implement himself into this high-flowing offense. Now, mind you, last night, the Boston Celtics had 31 assists. That's a lot, especially for a team that is 29th in the NBA in assists. I'm not exaggerating whatsoever. They're the second worst team at getting assists in the entire NBA. Second. And yet they dropped 31 of them against Milwaukee. That just goes to show that this team, when needed, will swing that thing around. As we all know, Jaylen Brown's a ball stopper, right? and there's no reason for him not to be when he's the most prolific scorer on the team. So as I've been preaching, the Boston Celtics are doing their thing, man. They are doing their thing, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. I know. I think the East is going to be more entertaining than the West this year. Color me crazy. You guys might be calling me crazy right now. I just genuinely believe that the Eastern Conference playoffs is going to be more entertaining than the actual Western Conference. We don't really have a bad team that's in the playoffs right now. Yeah, sure, you can say like the 76ers aren't real contenders without Embiid, but when you look at even the Toronto Raptors, at least they play defense. When you look out west and you start really paying attention to their standings, I'm not interested in seeing the Suns in the playoffs. Not with all of these injuries. I'm not interested in seeing the Warriors in the playoffs. That's if they make it out of the play-in. I'm not interested in seeing the Lakers in the playoffs. Maybe just for Luka, because we know Luka's going to have one iconic game that everybody remembers but forgets all the bad games. I think the East is a lot of fun because it wasn't supposed to be quote unquote wide open. It was until the Pistons leaped everybody that they suddenly started saying, oh, it's wide open, with Tatum as well going down. The undisputed favorites were the Cleveland Cavaliers as well as the New York Knicks. And now all of a sudden the Celtics in their gap year are doing what they're doing. The Pistons leapfrogged 6 seeds where they thought they'd be. And now all of a sudden, since the Celtics and the Pistons are good, all of a sudden now it's wide open because people have lost their belief in the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's just it's funny. It's just funny the way that like the narrative just shifts when something drastic in the NBA happens, like a team underperforming, like a team overperforming. Man, shout out the Boston Celtics, man. I will say, I don't hate watch often, right? Because I just love basketball. I enjoy so much about basketball. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. The last like 5 games I've been watching these Celtics and I'm thinking, does this team ever lose basketball games? They've only won 3 straight and it's against 3 shit teams in the Bucks, oh, sorry, my apologies, 76ers fans. I mistaken your logo for the Nets, 76ers, and the Bucks. My apologies, 76ers fans. I truthfully do not want to fight. I did not mean that. Again, Joe Mazzulla running this team, they're a contender no matter what. There is no such thing as an off year when Joe Mazzulla is your head coach. So I hope that does my Celtics fans justice and not really speaking of y'all as of late because of your easy schedule. I hope you guys feel validated. I hope you guys feel reassured. I hope you guys feel happy. I hope you can take this positive attitude and morale and take it with you for the rest of your day. All right, Beantown boys, I appreciate y'all. And as always, I'm rooting for y'all for a distance, just not when we're up against each other. That's all. I would also like to point out, I just have to point this out. The Celtics, I believe, are 5 games behind the Pistons. They are. Technically, that's like 5.5 games because the Pistons own the tiebreaker on that. So Pistons still have a sizable lead on the first seed in the East. Just felt like pointing that out because some people are unsure about the tiebreakers. Guys, let's move on to another game that happened last night. All right. And that is Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets flopping their way into victory in Utah, 128-125. I have one stat to share with y'all. One important stat to share with y'all. All right. The Denver Nuggets, listen, before I even say this, I just need to say this, okay? Take a step back and think of if this was your team against Jokic last night, okay? Just take a second, breathe, and be honest with ourselves. I'm thinking of the Pistons, and I'm thinking about watching Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray get every single one of these calls. What would your reaction be? Would you not be in my Discord server lighting it up, ranting for the entire morning? Would you guys not be in the Twitch stream right now, just calling Jokic and Murray every name in the dictionary? Now that I'm thinking about it, if that did happen against my team, I would be livid. Let me explain. The Denver Nuggets had 21 free throws in the fourth quarter. 21 in the fourth quarter. The Jazz had 3. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I am not a biased viewer of any other team in the NBA. even the Pistons, I'm not biased. I'm the most critical of the Pistons out of everybody in here. I don't think the Pistons are going to do shit. I think, I have high hopes, but I don't like getting my hopes disappointed. So as an unbiased viewer of this game, they were hacking Jokic. I got to play devil's advocate. The entire game, they were hacking Jokic. They were pushing him. They were grabbing him. They were scratching him. They were jumping on him. They were doing all of that. They were. Who doesn't? It happened to Shaq. It happens to Wemby. It happens to Duran. It happens to Ben Wallace. It happens to Jermaine O'Neal. It happens to every great big man in the NBA in history. It happens. When you are the biggest man on the court, you are going to get grabbed. You are going to get pushed. You are going to get hugged. It's going to happen. This is what always happens. And Jokic, because he couldn't beat that pressure, took matters into his own hands and started flopping all over the court. Flopping all over the court. I kid you not. Flopping from A to B. And even Murray, man, and I've been preaching this since Jokic came back from his injury. He's not looked right. He's not looked like himself. He didn't even attempt a 3 last night because of how bad he's been from downtown. He had 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, and he shot 6 for 11 because he just couldn't get his own shot. Like, I've been preaching this, that he has not looked right all season long. It has not been Nikola Jokic. And now it's sort of like I'm watching. Knicks fans, don't get offended. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not an insult. I'm just saying you guys know what I'm talking about. When Jalen Brunson's at his best, he's cooking, he's wheeling and dealing, he's getting to the rim, he's doing that footwork, he's going crazy cooking from mid-range. When Jalen Brunson is bad, and he's having a bad shooting night, we all know what Jalen Brunson starts doing when he's got a bad shooting night. We all know. I don't need to say it, but we all know. The head bobs, the arms flailing, the throwing himself on the floor. Whenever stars, specific stars, have bad games, they revert to what they do best. Brunson, incredible player, incredible talent. When he starts playing poorly, Knicks fans will tell you, he starts flopping. When Jokic starts playing poorly, he starts flopping. It's all the specific great players in the NBA. I know there's a Knicks fan that's very offended by my comments on Jalen Brunson. That's not to discredit him. He's amazing. He's a great player. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. But when he's having a bad night, you're a Knicks fan. You can attest to this. My Knicks fans can agree. And if you're calling me a casual based off my opinion, that's on you, man. Listen, I can admit the faults of Cade Cunningham. I can admit the faults of all of my favorite players. I can admit the faults of my team. If you can't do that, then we can't have a conversation. So, Nikola Jokic, he was flopping all over the place. And now I have a point that I have to make, okay? And I know this is going to, I know. You guys hate when I bring up the Pistons, but unfortunately I have to in this sense. Unfortunately, I truly have to. I know you guys hate when I do this, but I have to. All the 40-point games that I see so far this season, they all have double-digit free throws. Hell, even the 30-point games I see, they all have double-digit free throws. Jokic in this game, 11 free throws. He's finished with 22 points. Half of his points came from free throws. Jamal Murray, 45 points, 12 free throws. My point is, and I'm not even done, there's still more just from last night where these players get double-digit free throws, and yet I have to watch my star in Detroit not get a single call. He gets 4 free throws, and then the refs call it a night, even though he's getting tackled to the ground almost every single play. Bear claw scratches on his arms. It's just, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me because Jamal Murray went for 45 points last night and had a crazy efficient game. Crazy efficient game. 13 for 19 from the field, 8 for 13 from the three-point line, 11 for 12 from the free throw line. And, they got the win. They got the win. I think what's crazy to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Correct me if I'm wrong. My Twitter feed was clogged with this game highlights. Genuinely. It was clogged with the highlights of this game. I was starting to think that I was a casual because I didn't stay up late to watch Jazz Nuggets. I don't get it. Everybody, for some reason, was watching this game. So then I did a little bit of digging. And most of the accounts that I was seeing tweet these clips were Jazz fans. The second most was Thunder fans. It's as if Thunder fans right now are just trying to show the world that Shea isn't the only one. Now, I've talked about Shea. I've talked about Luka. I have a 40-minute documentary on Luka Doncic on my YouTube channel. I've talked about all of these guys, right? Shea has never done what Jokic does. Maybe once. Who hasn't? Shea does not do what Jokic is doing. So I won't be here to have that conversation with anybody, because you guys are proving to me that you're casuals if you argue with this. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander clowns people with his foot movement and gets the foul call. You can call Bates the foul call. You can say he baits the foul call with his amazing footwork. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the best footwork out of any player in the NBA right now, maybe other than Jalen Brunson. He's not jumping on the back of players multiple times throughout the game. He's not tackling players to the ground multiple times a game. He is not flopping and going like this when he feels contact. Genuinely. And for some reason, I'm looking at the TikTok chat. This is why I don't really acknowledge the TikTok chat and why I only read my Twitch chat. For some reason, this guy named Jonathan, who took a mirror picture of him on the floor in the gym, said Pistons got eliminated by the Knicks last year. Laughing emoji. You were supposed to win. Why are we flexing that? Keep talking about you were supposed to win. I'm not quite sure why Knicks fans think it's so special that you beat the team that you were supposed to beat. Y'all struggled against a team that you were supposed to beat. So my point being, you can keep talking about last year. That's fine. You guys have one more year to win. I'd hate for that to be my franchise right now, talking about winning when they haven't won since 1973. Now, I'm going to continue with my podcast, and I'm not going to read the remaining TikTok chat. So if you guys would like to talk, if you guys would like to hang out, if you guys would like to just veg and chill and enjoy the stream from a better experience over here in the Twitch stream, we would love to have y'all. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I don't know why he got me talking about the Knicks right now when we're talking about the Nuggets. This is why I don't read the TikTok chat. If you guys want a better streaming experience, a better viewing experience, better listening experience, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. I hope to see you guys come through. Now, I just have to say this one more time, guys. This is not to be a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander defender. I am not meant to be a Jalen Brunson defender. But there is difference between fooling your defender and just straight up flopping. There's a major difference. And if you don't know that difference, then we cannot have an intellectual conversation between us. If you say that Shai's a flopper, you are incorrect. If you say that he baits his defenders into flopping, sure, you got me there. He has elite footwork. Jokic does too. But when he's playing poorly, he reverts to this flopping tendency. And it's horrible basketball. Honestly, if I was up last night watching this, I'd have turned the TV off. I'm not watching that garbage. I'm not watching a 300-pound 7-footer just flopping his ass to the ground. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. Would I watch Shai clown a great defender into following them? Sure. Yeah, because he outplayed his defender. Yes, I would watch that. Would I watch Brunson drive to the hoop, clown somebody with his footwork, and they jump into him? Yeah. Yeah, great move. It's a great move. But I'm not going to watch a 300-pound 7-footer throwing himself onto the floor. I mean, bro, it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. Like, I've been saying this for years, and it feels like the Jokic PR is just undefeated. Because when Embiid flops, he's unwatchable for a lot of people. In my opinion, I hate watching Joel Embiid flop all over the ground. Like, he's on the ground every single play when he plays. And Jokic, there's really no difference. They both somewhat do the same thing. Straight up. Plain and simple. If you outplay your opponent, and if your goal is not to score the basketball, but your first goal is to go for free throws, then I'm not a fan of your game. That's just plain, point blank, period facts. If your game is predicated on getting to the free throw line, I'm not into it. I don't even want to, I don't want to watch it. I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I will admit, Joel Embiid, people have been saying he has been better. No, he's been bad. It's just because you haven't been watching him as much. He barely plays, and when he does, he still does the same tendencies. And this is somebody who wants Joel Embiid to succeed. I just don't want to see him on the ground flopping like a fish over and over again. Now, do I have any other takeaways from last night's games? We didn't have that many good games. So tomorrow's show, we're going to be doing what I mentioned at the start, and that's why I'm very, 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 very excited. Anthony, my apologies. Knicks fans, I apologize. I apologize. A bunch of Knicks fans were in my TikTok stream just coming at my throat, coming at my neck, just keep saying that I was mad and shit, and they were just, you know, Knicks fans are, on TikTok especially, some of the worst human beings on this spinning piece of rock that we're on. Real quick, let's talk about the Rockets Wizards. There's not much to talk about, but I do want to point out a couple things because this is what I do. Alperen Şengün had a great game. He also had 11 free throws, 32 points, 11 free throws. Shot 12 for 20 from the field, 32 points, 13 rebounds. Kevin Durant had 30 points. Guess what? He had 11 free throws. So yeah, that's the story of the game. They almost choked this game as well because the KD save us offense failed last night, as it does every single night. They gave up 40 points to the Washington Wizards in the fourth quarter. KD save us! The offense unfortunately didn't work last night. They gave up 40 points to the Wizards. They almost lost, but they got it done. So shout out them for getting it done. And then, you know, I'm going to be talking about the Warriors again in a bit, but bro, the Warriors Clippers won 114-103. Does anybody bother watching Warriors games? I intentionally don't watch them anymore. Does anybody bother watching them? Like, I watched the condensed 5-minute version, but I'm not watching this basketball game anymore. Like, even the games that I miss, I watch the condensed versions that show all misses, all makes. The games that I don't watch. I don't bother watching the Golden State Warriors anymore. I can't. It's just not enjoyable whatsoever. Even with Curry, like with Curry is there, I'm watching it 100%. I'm not even gonna consider not watching it. But I can't watch this team. I cannot watch this team. 17 threes last night, and they still managed to lose by double digits. They attempted 50 threes. And it was just a horrible effort across the board. Draymond Green, 4 points, 1 for 5 from the field. He only had 2 rebounds. Al Horford got blocked by a rookie. He was getting locked up, but he had 17 points, 5 for 11. Moses Moody, 10 points, 4 for 12. Pods had 20 points in the first half. I feel so bad for the account that said, I'm not tweeting until Pods drops 30 points. I think that was 3 years ago. He finished the game with 22 points. Again, Pods had 20 points in the first half. He finished with 22. DeAnthony Melton, 7 points, 3 for 14. Guy Santos, 5 points, 2 for 8. I'm sorry. I can't watch this team. I genuinely can't watch this team. It's depressing. I think they'll get knocked out of the play-in. I think they will. I think they'll get knocked out of the play-in. I don't see them winning. I can't see that winning. I can't shoot and everybody else in the TikTok and YouTube stream. If you guys are enjoying the show, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. The Twitch stream is JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio or description. I hope to see you guys come through. All right. Yeah, the Warriors are a horrible watch. And that's all the games from last night, y'all. That is all the games from last night. Unfortunately, we only had 4 games. Thanks a lot, Adam Silver. So we're actually going to move on into our final segment of today's show. Okay. Guys, y'all know the segment. Is this news? I'm going to share a trending topic right now, and we are going to decide together as a group whether or not this headline is news. Okay? So I need your guys' help here. I need your guys' help. Guys, up first. Is this news? The Atlanta Hawks are perfectly mid. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Somebody tweeted, Kevin Chouinard tweeted, the Hawks are now 31-31 on the season. And they have scored 7,278 points this season. They've also allowed 7,277 points. 1 point difference from what they've scored versus what they've allowed. Okay. You want to get crazier? It's not just this season. The Hawks are not only 31-31 in their last 62 games. In their last 90, they are 45-45. In their last 134, they're 67-67. In their last 304, this is not a in their last 174, they are last 348, they are 174-74. They are 210-210 in their last 420. They are 785-785 in their last 1,570. They are 1,940-1,940 in their last 3,880. They are 2,895-2,895. I don't think this is actually legit, just so we're all clear. Somebody would have to fact check. I don't think this is real. I don't think this is real. I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. I wanted to give y'all a good laugh. But this picture also made me crack up that finally pure mid. Now, I don't know if that's legit or not. But well, I guess we could we ask Grok? Could we ask them if it quotes the Hawks beat a writer's observation 31-31 with more points? I don't think that this exact stat is true. Because that means that they've had this record since 1949. If that is real, that means they have had this record since 1949. I just can't buy that it's real. But I think we can all agree over the last few seasons, right? They are perfectly mid. I think we can all agree. They are perfectly mid. They are not a good basketball team. I think we can all agree to that. Jalen Johnson's cool, but like I feel like the Hawks get the play-in talk, the Heat get the play-in talk, but the Golden State Warriors don't get the play-in talk. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. They also have the exact same offensive rating and defensive rating right now. Like right now in this season, they have the exact same offensive and defensive. It's crazy. It's crazy. Do y'all think that's news, or are y'all used to this? Do you think that this is news? Or are y'all used to the generationally mid Atlanta Hawks? I'm very curious. I don't think this is news. I think I'm used to it. I think I'm numb to the Atlanta Hawks being in the play-in. This is normal. This is normal. Now, I have a better one. Is this news, ladies and gentlemen? Steve Kerr says Kristaps Porzingis' current illness is a little mysterious. So my question is, okay, let's just go back. You're telling me Kristaps Porzingis, who since last season, at the beginning of the year, there was a rumor going around that he had POTS disease. It's basically an irregular heartbeat, right? It beats too fast. Tingus Pingus came out and said that he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. So what is this? What is this? My point being is I know this Jonathan Kuminga thing isn't legit, right? I know Kuminga is not going to be a 25 point per game scorer off the bench. He's not going to be doing that, okay? He's playing on a contract year and he wants it, right? He wants it. But my whole point being is Steve Kerr is a horrible talent evaluator, bro. Like, I know Tingus Pingus, like, there is one thing we knew about Tingus, is he wasn't going to play basketball. And yet they traded for him anyways. And that's what doesn't make any sense to me. That's what genuinely is a mystery to me. How the hell? It's not his disease that's a mystery. It's the fact that they traded him that's a mystery. People are saying he's got AIDS. Who cares about I hope he gets better. But the real mystery is why you made this trade in the first place. Like, are you that mad that Kuminga's friends were taking food from the arena? Are you that mad? I'm sorry, y'all. This trade never made sense to me. The fact that they weren't playing Kuminga never made sense to me. Atlanta wins this trade every day of the week. I know we just called them mid, but they won this trade every day of the week. It's just embarrassing to even have to talk about this for this long. We knew he was sick with something. That's why Boston traded him to Atlanta. That's why Atlanta traded him to you. So is this news? No, I don't. I don't believe that this is news. We've known this for over a year and a half. This is not news. So I'm going to just go out on a whim and say, Mike Dunleavy, you're an idiot. Why would you trade for this? Why on earth would you trade for this? Guys, my final headline coming up next. I know you guys are probably very upset with me, but today's a short episode, man. We only had 4 games last night. There's not a whole lot to talk about today. And unfortunately, the TikTok stream is dead. I'd love to see the TikTok viewers come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Our final headline of today is this news, y'all. Help me out. Reports state that Tatum is rushing his return. Guys, do y'all believe that that is news, that people are saying that Jason Tatum is rushing on his return? Now, this is a very interesting conversation to have. This is a very interesting conversation to have, and I would love to see it specifically from my Celtics fans in here. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that we are having this conversation with Jason Tatum. I don't want anything to happen to this man. It's his birthday. He's turning 28. Holy hell, I'm the same age as this guy. I turn 28 next week. I genuinely believe that he should wait. I think he should wait. You guys said it was your gap year, and I understand you're looking at the Eastern Conference and saying it's wide open, and I get it. But I think the last thing I want in this world is for Tatum to come back and get hurt again. Now, I know I'm going to bring this up, and you guys are going to tell me, but he was 34. Kobe came back 9 months after he tore his Achilles. And then in 6 games, he re-injured himself, and his career was basically shot. His career was over. He was 34. I think we can all agree Kobe's career was over. He came back 9 months after his Achilles injury, and then he got re-injured 6 games after that. I don't think he should come back. I don't think he should come back. I'm not saying that because I'm a Pistons fan. I just genuinely don't think he should come back. I think he should wait. Go through a full training camp and just start fresh next year. I want what's best for Tatum. He's one of the best players in the NBA. Yes, he's one of the most scrutinized because people hate him because he's corny, but they can't respect him as a basketball player. He's one of the best basketball players I've ever watched in my entire life. One of, easily top 20, right? And I don't want him to get hurt again. Am I crazy? Yo, shout out to Shuda for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. Welcome on into the Twitch, my boy. Be sure to join the Discord. We'd love to have you in there. Yeah, TikTok. If you guys are enjoying the stream, do exactly what the homie Shuda just did and come through to the Twitch. I'd love to have you. We would love to have you over here. It's a much better viewing experience for you, and it's a much better chemistry experience with all of us if you come through to the Twitch. Now, that's just my opinion, man. I think this is news. I think that they should just go easy and take their time. That's my honest opinion, man. That's my honest opinion. Now, if he does come back and he gets at least, like, I'll say 8 to 10 games before the playoffs, I think that's a good amount of games to get him at least warmed up to play like 25, 35 minutes in the playoffs. But at the same time, can I be honest with everybody? I think let's say this guy's against the Pistons. Let's say they play the Pistons. Let's say they meet up in the conference finals. I'll be honest with everybody. I've seen the Pistons play against like the weakest person on a team. The Pistons will absolutely bully Jason Tatum. They will abuse him within the rule set. They will give him hell because they know he's not 100%. No way Tatum is 100%. Jason Tatum is not 100%. I cannot possibly imagine that he's 100%. I just don't want to see him come back and then get hurt again. I don't like it. And then that's another concern as well. Mr. Zyfix, you bring up a great point that I've been seeing circulate around. Do you think it affects team chemistry and finally feeds into it that they don't need him because of Jaylen Brown? I'm here from TikTok. Well, you should stay here and don't go back to the TikTok. Welcome on in, my boy. I think that's a fair assessment. Because Jason Tatum, as good as he is, he's not going to just sit in the 3-point line. He's not going to just sit in the corner. He's not going to. But he will be taking the ball away from Jaylen Brown. And I love the argument, by the way, that we've been better with Jaylen Brown off the court. I love that argument because it's such a thing to say, because the Pistons are like 5-1. They're 5-1 without Cade Cunningham playing, right? The Pistons are not better without Cade Cunningham. It's such a picked stat. It is. Because here's the thing. The Pistons are also positive with Cade Cunningham off the floor. They're not better with Cade Cunningham off the floor. Data Baller has ruined a lot of people's perspectives on who's good and who's bad. If you really want to know how somebody knows ball or not, they will send you back. Like Isaiah Stewart just by himself. Because on top of that, the off the court, it's double the minutes with him on the court. Double the minutes. In my strong opinion, I don't think Jason Tatum should come back yet. Celtics fans, y'all can come up to your own conclusion. I don't think he should come back yet. I think this is news. I don't want him to get hurt again. He's one of the best players in the NBA, and I want him to recover. I want him to have a flawless recovery. I don't want him to go through what Kobe went through and end their career, because 28 is not young. 28 is in your prime. This is now the time to take the most care of your body so that you can play until you're LeBron's age, if that's what you want to do. I understand he wants to be Kobe, but at some point you need to be Jason Tatum. You don't need to be anybody that you're not. I think an Achilles injury should have you out guaranteed for a year, and that would put them in the conference finals. That's my honest opinion. Now, I think Joe Mazzulla will make sure that the offense doesn't get skewed as much as people believe it will. As long as he can play somewhat of a reduced role, I think it could work out. But I'm sure you all saw the meeting with the doctor. He said, I'm not coming back to be a role player. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That's what I'm going to end it off with, Jason Tatum. Guys, I have one more segment. To talk about. And you guys already know it's the stud of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, there were a lot of options to choose from last night. I could have picked Kevin Durant, who had 30 points and 11 free throws. I could have talked about Alperen Şengün, who had 32 points and 11 free throws. I could have talked about Nikola Jokic, who had 22 points and 11 free throws. I could have talked about Keontae George, who had 36 points with 5 free throws. Unfortunately, I don't want to give it to him, but he had a ridiculously efficient night last night. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. And I got to go with my stud of the night is Jamal Murray for the Denver Nuggets last night in their win. He scored 45 points, dropped 8 assists, grabbed 2 rebounds. He had 7 turnovers. And he had 12 free throws. So I know it's against the Utah Jazz. I know. Blame Adam Silver. Blame the foul call. Blame whatever you want. I think that's a great question as we end our show with Jamal Murray getting our stud. My apologies. Great way to end the show with Jamal Murray getting the stud of the night last night. He played well and he did his thing. He got a lot of free throws too. Mr. Zyfix asked the question in the Twitch stream. He said, quick question. Are you enjoying this season compared to last season? I'm not. There's too many stars out. Yes, I am. It's my first ever NBA season that I'm live covering. It's also the best season the Pistons have had since I was 10 years old. So yes, I am enjoying this season a lot. I think the overall basketball this year has been a lot of fun. I think the storylines have been really good. Celtics gap year, their second seed. The Pistons jumping up 6 seeds than they were predicted to be. Watching analysts be incredibly wrong about a lot of teams like the Phoenix Suns, like the Pistons, like the Magic, like the Hawks. watching the rise of the San Antonio Spurs and Wembanyama. Yeah, I think it's been a very enjoyable season for me. I think next season should be even better. I think next season should be even better. Yeah. Is it better than last season? Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. TikTok, YouTube, that's going to do it for today. If you guys enjoyed today's show and you guys want more, we are still live on Twitch, ladies and gents. We are still live on Twitch. So TikTok, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. YouTube, that's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. It's a much better viewing experience over here, guys. Apple, Spotify, all my podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. It really helps more than y'all could possibly understand, all right? Guys, that's going to do it for today's show. We are still live, obviously, on Twitch, so nobody go anywhere. I got nothing left to say. We're going to be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Y'all know our schedule Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I apologize again for the shorter episode today. Blame Silver for the lack of games last night. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a very fun episode. If we don't do it tomorrow, then we'll probably do it like Thursday. It depends on how good the games are tonight, because there are some good games tonight. All right. So if we don't do that whole contender, pretender, or whatever, we'll do it either Thursday or one of these next days. Okay. But if the games are good, then we obviously got to talk about the games tomorrow. Okay. Guys, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. We're still live over there. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I got nothing left to say, y'all, except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And I apologize for the lack of energy today. Massive headache for staying up until almost 2 a.m. last night. So my apologies, everybody. And no, I was not staying up to watch the Nuggets Jazz game. We were watching this show called The Resort. Not advertised, not sponsored. Go check that show out. It's on the Peacock. It's on the cock. Be sure to go check that out. Thank you for watching / listening. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.